And I think Derrick Jaxn was that guy that she looked at, that she felt like not only did she have to compete for, but she had to become something different to be accepted by him. So I think that shows her insecurity, but it also shows an opportunity for men to strengthen their woman. So if women typically have an insecurity, then it is a man's job to help build her up in those areas so that she's confident. That's the first thing.
When I saw this clip, I thought thought about being a wife with the wrong man. She followed the wrong guy. That's why she was with those women the same way he was. So I think a lot of the times women will subconsciously, when you follow a man, you got to think about where he's going and what he's following, because that's where you're going to end up too. So I think she just got caught up, fell in love with the wrong guy, looked up. She's like, what am I doing here? I'm studying these women and competing with these women. And you lose yourself. I think that's the crime that was done here. You lost yourself, and he failed her to a degree. As a husband, you're supposed to introduce your wife to more of herself, not make her lose herself completely. So I think this is just, if we're talking about the intent here, as a wife, you make vows to follow your man, right? To stick with your man through thick and thin. I think a lot of the times we have to, as husbands too, and wives, and more importantly, before you make those vows to your man, ask yourself, where is that man headed? So I think this is just a prime example of a lack of preparation as far as getting into bed with the wrong person.
Hey, Jay, I can add another thing to that, if you don't mind. I think the way she sounds and the way she seems like she's moved, if he had a conversation, she probably would have been open to an open relationship. She sounded like she probably would have been open to that. Just how much she loved and cherished and seemed like she respected that man. I don't know if that conversation ever came up, but she seemed like she would be open to that. So,
okay, go ahead, sir. Hale.
Well, first of all, I'm going to take this a little bit different. I see insecurity with her. So as she was speaking, I heard somebody who's insecure who saw someone else who she thought was better than her for that stage in her life. And that was abused, because I think that a lot of women, regardless of how we see them, I think most women carry some level of insecurity with them, and they mask it up and they dress it up. But I think most women, even the best looking women that we think have unlimited options, have an insecurity. And the right man, and when I say right, I mean the man that can provoke that, can draw that out of her. And I think Derrick Jaxn was that guy that she looked at, that she felt like not only did she have to compete for, but she had to become something different to be accepted by him. So I think that shows her insecurity, but it also shows an opportunity for men to strengthen their woman. So if women typically have an insecurity, then it is a man's job to help build her up in those areas so that she's confident. That's the first thing. The second part is her response shows the depth of a woman that really is invested in you. Like, a lot of men don't understand this. When you get a woman on your team and she is really into you, an older woman told me this years ago. She said, when you got a woman who really loves you, right or wrong, there's almost no limit to where she'll go to make you happy, right? Even if she knows it's questionable, eventually, like if you guys have ever seen a woman who stuck with a guy who he sold drugs and she carried packages for him, right? Like the length, there are some women who've actually carried things within their actual canals, right? Because they wanted to help so when you get a woman on your team to love you, there is no limit to where she'll go to prove that love to you. And it is up to men, first of all, to not put your woman in a compromising position, and to understand that her level of loyalty is not to be exploited. It's to be appreciated. And when she gives you that, you should aim to honor her and not use that against her, such as what Derrick Jaxn did. Anytime you have a woman who has to look at other women to find a way to connect with you, you've damaged and broke her in the area that other people couldn't have done. And this is where you hear women who become hateful, who become bitter and say, you know what, I'm done with men, or I'm done with black men. And then it makes it difficult for gentlemen who want to have conversations about why women should stick with black men. Well, it's guys like this who do so much damage that goes so far. And then he moves on and finds other women, and she's left to keep on talking about the brokenness. And this is not going to be a one-time interview. This is going to be going on for a long time, because a woman who will go to that depth, it takes a long time to recover from something like that. So I heard insecurity, but this also is a testament to how far a woman will go for the man she loves.
I like that, sir. Yeah. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, I like a lot of what the brothers shared. My personal reaction to the video was, wow, she has hit rock bottom. I think even below rock bottom, right? One of the two things that, must have happened during the course of their relationship in their marriage was that he must have broken her during the course of their relationship to the point that she lost herself. She lost her identity. She lost who she was. She probably lost her foothold and groundedness. Because I thought at one point she was also religious, if I'm not mistaken. I thought she was a woman who also had a relationship with God too. Or, you know what I'm saying? This could be too. Or he found her already broken, insecure, with low self-esteem, and he preyed upon her, thinking that she might not do better than him. And to Sir Hale's point, like, he must have been that guy that was able to kind of extract that she saw that in him. And as a byproduct result, she started to try to compare herself to other women, because I mean, you got to think about the psyche of somebody in a relationship like that is supposed to be monogamous, or supposed to be, closed on both ends, but it seemed like it was open on his end. He was never trying to become a husband, at least not to her, because if he did, he would have built her up and would have put her in the type of position to seek help, to seek therapy, to seek help, to seek, other type of guidance. But instead, I think he allowed her to straddle along, and in the process, she was doing a whole lot that just didn't align with, the course of their relationship. I think the relationship was kind of one-sided, and she was in too deep to the point that she couldn't even see who she was anymore. She was seeing sort of a fragment. And to kind of hear a woman like that, and there's a lot of women out there who have gone through something like this similar, who probably haven't had the platform or the kind of space to share it like that in real time. And this is just the residue of just one of many women who have gone through what it appears to be a very toxic and tumultuous relationship. So, I mean, I feel for her. But yeah, just one of those sad situations.
All right. Right on with that, like you ready.
I'm trying to be. My feedback, I think, is still acting up a little bit.
No, it's good.
Oh, okay, cool. I think I'll take the different perspective on that. I think that she was cool with it. It just now it's an opportunity to market the situation. Because as she said herself, she was going and watching sex tapes of her husband with somebody else, and then trying to emulate those in the bedroom. That's a mindset that is definitely off, but at the same time, she was cool with it until it was exposed out in the public forum, in my estimation, because it wasn't until one of the mistresses kind of said something that there come a situation where she had an issue with it. I mean, even the interview that she did with him, I mean, nobody at that time had an idea of that she had put this much energy in trying to keep him. The way that it looked is that she had just found out about the scenario in which cheating on her. That's what it seemed like. I'll say from my perspective anyway.